It is Mailbag Day, ladies and gentlemen, but the main topic for today's episode is George McCaskey suggestion that the Chicago Bears fans have some patience this season with Caleb Williams. We're going to talk about that, get into the mailbag, break it all down, but you got to hear the music first.
Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears. I'm your host here. I'm Bobby. No C-Dub with me today on today's Mailbag episode. But if you are tuned in with me to the number one spot, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Now, before we get into the mailbag, we got to talk about George McCaskey. George McCaskey, you know what I'm saying? He don't pop up much. At least, in the last few years, he haven't popped up much. We've seen a lot of Ryan Poles and other members of this front office. But George McCaskey stepped up to the podium and had some interesting comments suggesting that Chicago Bears fans be patient with Caleb Williams. He goes on to say, and quote, typically the number one pick in the draft comes into a situation where it's going to take a while for things to come together. Caleb's got a lot of support, a solid defense, good receivers, good offensive line, a good running game, tight ends, but I hope people will be patient. There are going to be growing pains. He's going to make mistakes. That's a part of the learning process for any young quarterback, end quote. Now, I will say this. Nobody really like hearing from George McCaskey, but this is a valid point, at least in one part. Now, the one part that makes it a valid point is that most young quarterbacks, they got to come in. They have to learn, the ways of the NFL, understand the speed of the NFL, understand what's being set up on every single down, every single game versus the opposing teams, to where the young quarterback has to come within his own and be able to diagnose the defense at hand, or there will be a lot of mistakes. There's going to be some mistakes, but you absolutely want to continuously see a young quarterback move and take steps forward. Sometimes it happens, many times it does not happen. That's the one point that makes sense. The other point is that everything before George McCaskey got to the we should be patient part. This is the best situation a number one overall pick, let alone a quarterback, has ever came into, in my opinion. When you talk about DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, when you talk about Cole Kmet, Jared Everett, Mercedes Lewis, when you talk about the running backs that's within the room, Swift, Herbert, Roshan Johnson, now Velus Jones being a part of that. This upgrade in offensive line, now they have depth all throughout and up the offensive line. This is the best situation that a young quarterback has came into. Now, when we think about that, we still do have to come into this with realistic expectations. But the thing is, George, it's very, very hard to temper expectations when you know what's at hand, right? What's right in front of you. And you telling me with a top 5 defense, a new offensive coordinator who has been shown that he can develop and, kind of revitalize guys' career, or kind of, put together different things to where they can be most successful within his system, that we can't expect some type of competition within this division. I'm not saying George McCaskey didn't say that, but I believe that as long as Caleb Williams don't crap the bed, he should win many games because of his defense. As long as we know that Caleb Williams can come out here and be successful with this squad and just simply be himself, he's going to win football games. Now, there's some people out there in the media who's came out and said that this young fella is going to the Super Bowl. I am not one of those guys, but I do happy about it that there are some people who actually believe. I am not of that belief right now. I do believe that the Chicago Bears are primed to fight for a playoff position. That's where I'm at right now, and I believe that the squad can win 10 games. That's the only reason why I kind of understand the be patient aspect of it. When it comes to some results might not happen really fast, but when you talk about the other things and the nuances and bring context in it, you got to think about it. And there's one more thing that I want to think about and just put out there so everybody can be like, hey, we got to go to the Super Bowl. We got to. I understand it to a degree. And this is why George McCaskey is kind of placing it out there for everybody to be like, hey, temper your expectation, guys. Pump the brakes a little bit. Simply because since 2014, 8 quarterbacks, including Caleb Williams, were selected number 1 overall. Some names that you might remember: Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Jameis Winston. In the last 10 years, from 2014 to 2024, none of those quarterbacks had a winning record. None of them. So I understand that aspect of it. But I can also throw it right back in when I believe what some of y'all will do in the chat. They're going to say, hey, Bobby, Trevor Lawrence started off with Urban Meyer. It was terrible. And the team was not on par with what we have in this locker room. Joe Burrow, I believe T. Higgins was around at that time, but he had no Jamar Chase. The defense wasn't nearly as good as it was at that point in time. And I believe he did end up hurt. Kyler Murray, not as good as this team. So the only point is that, yes, there should be some type of patience involved. But I do understand for the fans that be like, bruh, we got to make some noise because y'all was telling everybody this is a generational talent. I believe he's a hell of a talent. Generational, he's going to have to live up that for me to believe. He's going to have to make sure that he's one of those guys to break these curses for the Chicago Bears. And we move on from that. We keep pushing. Just to try to give you guys a little bit of information on how we looking at it all. I do understand the be patient aspect. I'm necessarily will be at least a little bit patient for the first few weeks to see the offense going. But that does not mean that the Bears should not be winning in some of these games. That's just how I'm looking at it, especially week 1. I got us taking the dub, by the way, versus the Tennessee Titans. But who's to say it's going to be a walk in the park for Caleb Williams? I'm solely basing it on him making a couple plays and the defense leading the way for a couple weeks. That's how I'm looking at it. Let me know how you all are looking at it down below. Now that's it for me. Enough with that stuff. We trying to get right into the mailbag. We got 4 on the day. We're going to jump right into it. This first one is from Phil Kakowski.
Hey, boys, name's Phil Kakowski. First time listener, long time caller. Anyway, I wanted to call in and talk about week 1 coming up now. We got all that summer bullshit behind us, dude. So here's the thing. I wanted to provide a little insight on the Titans defense situation, dude. It's all anchored by Jeff Simmons up the middle there, dude. That guy's an all-pro caliber kind of guy. He'll wreck the game. So they're going to have to double up on him. Hopefully Nate Davis is back from vacation or whatever the fuck he's got going on, dude. But anyway, you got to block that guy. They just got that Ernest dude from the Rams. Got to watch him on the blitz. And then they picked up Steve this year, dude. But here's the thing, dude. They got a lot of blue-chip talent, all 3 levels of the defense, dude. But here's the thing. Kind of like the Bears last year, dude. Those guys haven't had time to gel. They're probably going to have some rock starts going. So, my opinion, Coach Waldron's got to dial up some nice route concepts and let Caleb deal from the pocket, dude. Get the quick game going early, and then you got to take advantage of the miscommunication they got with the new coaching staff and all the new talent. You got to take advantage of that, dude. So that's what I think. Run a lot of 12 personnel. I think it should flow through the tight end. Even though they're going to have the eyes on the receivers, dude, that's why you got to do it. But, and the other thing I want to talk about, I know Caleb said that he's not nervous. He doesn't get nervous, dude, which I think is kind of bullshit. But week 1's going to hit him, dude. And here's my piece of advice if he's going to end up hearing this, that back in when I played for UW Whitewater, Division III champs, dude, here's what we did. I passed the smelling salts around to my teammates and everybody would take a hit. But see, I got a tolerance to this stuff because I've been using it since 7th grade. So I started ripping lines of smelling salts, dude. That's what I needed to get me going, keep me going. So, I mean, dude, I used to pass concussion protocol when I was fucking rattled because I had that stuff, dude. So I'm not recommending that for anybody. I think you shouldn't touch the stuff if you got an addictive personality. But anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover, guys. So I'm going to hang up and listen. So bear down, dude.
All right, so we heard from Phil, and I ain't gonna lie, Phil, you sound like Barry cousin or older uncle. Not gonna lie. Are you from the East Coast as well, my guy? But when we talk about the Tennessee Titans, man, I think that a lot of us we thinking it's gonna be a walk in the park. Me necessarily, I don't think it's gonna be a walk in the park, but I do expect the Chicago Bears, who I believe is the better team on paper, should win this game. And they have to if they want to take advantage of the earlier part of the season to where they don't have to play many of the tougher matchups. They don't have to play any divisional games. And you did mention some players that they have on the defensive side. Hey, they got some offensive weapons as well. I know that there are questions with Will Levis, but they still got a decent wide receiver core. They got Calvin Ridley, they got D Hop, they got Traylon Burks, and Tyler Boyd. To me, I think those are really four solid wide receivers that you can have. I'm not gonna sit here and go back and forth and say who's better between ours and their wide receiving core, but that could be something that the Bears should have to worry about if they're not already game planning for it and all that. To be honest with you, I'm not too worried about Tony Pollard and Tyjair Spears. I do believe they can add a lot, but with the run defense, the Bears should be fine. So don't overlook them. And when it comes to Caleb nerves, look, everybody gets nervous once or twice in their life at the minimum. And some people just have bad anxiety. I know a couple people. But I will say this. That first NFL game, he might have some nerves in there. But I say how you mitigate some of those nerves is Shane Waldron. Let's run the ball first. Let's get comfortable. Let's run the ball. Don't come out how you came out in that Bengals game trying to just start firing off. No, let's establish a good game plan. Let's get them going with the first two. You know what I'm saying? Maybe first two plays, maybe a run or something to get the ball out of his hands quick and it with timing. Boom. You don't need nothing progressing down the field. Let's make sure that we bring them on along. And then you can start cooking and opening things up as you see that as the game's going on, and you hope that Caleb Williams is getting more comfortable. That's how I will approach that. But thanks for calling in, Phil. Tell my man's Barry I said, what's the word? And we're going to move on to the next one. This next one, ladies and gentlemen, is from Marifa Azar.
Bobby, C-Dub, hey, them cognac boys. What's happening, fellas? It's your man, Marifa Azar, black yet again, man. Listen, man, I was watching Hard Knocks episode 4 last week, last week. And then, man, I said, damn. Listen, man, Ian Willer, that had me tugging at my heartstrings, man. I felt so bad for that boy. Man, he got to be special in order for him to be put on that damn spotlight like that, man. I said, damn. So look here, man. Travis Homer and Bayless Jones need to send Ian Willer a goddamn Christmas card, okay? Because they ain't even supposed to be on the damn team if it wasn't for Ian Willer getting hurt in the last preseason game. Ain't no damn way. You understand what I'm saying? It got to be something special. And I said, damn, Hard Knocks, they showed him and his mama hugging there for 5 damn minutes. That long ass church hug that she gave him. It looked like he was standing in front of the church and he just announced to the pastor that he wanted to get baptized. And his mama was so happy. She held him for 5 minutes. I said, damn, look at that. And I said, and then Pose brought him in the office and talked to him like he was his son. Tell him, he said, hey man, if you want to call me, you want to cry, if you want to talk, if you want to do something, I'm here for you all my life. I said, damn, there's something special about this boy. Cause he got to be something special. Cause they all love him like that. I said, dang, and he fast. He good now. He good. He fast on the field. He just don't know how to block and can't catch a goddamn ball. But he know he can learn that. He can learn that. But he got that speed. Okay? Now Baylor Jones and Travis Homer, they ass ain't supposed to be on this team. Okay? They ain't supposed to be on this team. They supposed to be gone. But Ian Willer got hurt, so they got more room for him over there. Okay? But next year, I guarantee Ian Willer gonna be either the second or the third running back on the Bears team. Okay? All right, so listen, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I gotta get up out of here, man. I got a place to go, I got people to see, but you know what I'm gonna say before I leave? It's Chicago up and bear down, baby. FGB, let's go.
Y'all heard Marifa in that off. It's always FGB, even if it's gloomy outside right now. But hey, Marifa, appreciate you for calling in. When it comes to Ian Willer, I think you mentioned, you said it was like he was standing in front of the pool pit getting ready for baptism. Hey, can we all agree that that's a life-changing moment for a lot of people? Tearing the ACL was a life-changing moment for him. And one of those hugs was absolutely necessary, just as much as the hug was for the baptism. I believe that, you know what I'm saying, one could be more important than the other. I'll let y'all decide that. But nonetheless, those are life-changing events. And I believe that hug was necessary. It was good to see the humanity aspect of football. You know what I'm saying? We know that these guys train their ass off. They're warriors. They tackle. They run at crazy speeds and collide with each other. They put it all out there on the line. And one of these moments was life-changing. And to end the point, when we talk about Vegas Jones and Travis Homer, look, I understand with some of the questions surrounding the Chicago Bears retaining some of these players, but you got to understand, or at least I'm trying to understand, because there are still some players I believe I'm like, I don't know, how do you pick this guy over that guy? But the Bears have to operate with the mindset that there are 3 phases to the game. Hence why Ryan Poles went out there and got him a punter who can pin the ball back and make it tough on just about any team that they're going to face this season. When it comes to field position, you get a guy that can flip the field. That's important. And you also need good special team guys to tackle guys. You know what I'm saying? That's why you hold on to Avelius Jones. You know what I'm saying? Because what he can do in the special teams, potentially, we'll see. You can't put too much on there. But in the run game, he has been solid. With Travis Homer, same thing applies. He's a better special teams player than he is in a running back, and you got to solidify that third phase to make sure that you're good. It's the same thing when we seen Reddy Stewart not make the team in favor of Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones is believed to have a greater benefit as a special team player than what Reddy Stewart can bring for the squad right now, because he ain't seeing much tick with the guys that's in front of him. So you got to be able to do something in special teams. And at that moment, that's Jalen Jones, according to the Chicago Bears. That's at least how I'm trying to look at it. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. All right. Thanks for calling in, Marifa. We're going to get into this next one, though, ladies and gentlemen. This next one is from Fred.
Cognac boys, Bobby C Dub, what it do, man? Shout out to Big Kev and Steve-O, man. The whole CBC gang, man. Hey, man, I just would like to know, it bothered me. Y'all know I ain't went off in a while like that, but I gotta go off. What the hell Ryan Poles thinking keeping Dominique? Please tell me what do we see Dominique? We gave this man enough chance to prove and show that he can be that, you know what I'm saying, that defensive end that we need. He hasn't shown us nothing but putting size on. And I don't know why he kept Jalen Jones on the roster, because Jalen Jones really ain't did nothing. We had that boy Reddy who had 2 picks, one for a touchdown, and you know what I'm saying, and another one. Like, I don't know, maybe he's seeing something we not seeing though, but I hope this don't backfire on him, you know what I'm saying, in his face, because Dominique Robinson should have been cut. I'm sorry. That's just me. Robinson Jim, I would have cut him. You know, you only spent fourth, fifth round pick on Robinson, and he hasn't shown us nothing. He hasn't shown us that he can be that dominant pass rusher, that underdog. It's like when guys get drafted in the 4th or 5th round or be drafted free agency, I like to see them underdog guys, you know what I'm saying, come in and get their shine on and show people why they made a mistake passing them up. You feel me? So I'm just ready for the season to rock and roll, man. And also, I would like to know why the hell he keep Travis Homer. Every time I seen Homer out there, he was like he was just stuck in neutral. Like, we should have just let him go and kept Black the game. See, a lot of teams, they get away from the fullback, you know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. The Bears should have kept Black the game. Maybe they know something we don't know, but Homer would have been gone off this team. Robinson would have been gone. Larry Bourne, the fat fuck, would have been gone off this team, man, because they have not shown us nothing like everybody else did. So I like the boy that we got, Taylor, that we got from Seattle, man. That can help on that D line. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like Booker should have started, but I guess they want to wait to make sure that, Booker, get more development until he's ready. You know what I'm saying? So, but I definitely like that we got Taylor and that boy Williams. Maybe that can help out on that D line because I'm starting to scratch my head on deck. I know he's going to get double teamed times, but he got to show that he can fight through that. Even when he gets one-on-ones, he got to show he can be that elite D tackle for us. Because if not, we're going to have to end up replacing Deck and getting us another DC in order for that 4-3 to go. Even Bruce wanted to run, you feel me? So, man, let me know what you boys think, man. I can't wait till the season is almost here. Chicago up, bet down or nothing.
Y'all heard of bet down or nothing. And again, it's always FGB. It don't even matter. But nonetheless, when you talk about all the guys that made the squad, when we look at Dominique Robinson specifically, I'm looking at the Chicago Bears depth chart right now, and bro, they got 6 defensive ends and 4 D tackles. That's 10 pass rushers. What that tells me is that Eric Washington is going to be rotating these guys. I don't know how often he's going to rotate them, but I believe that he's going to work to keep guys fresh because we know that as the season wanes on, the better teams, they are able to rush the passer once the weather changes, once it gets colder, once the rain starts to happen more, once the snow starts to happen. Obviously, you don't have to worry about those effects in domes and stuff, but you're the Chicago Bears who plays in an outside stadium right now. So you want to make sure that guys are preserved throughout the season and definitely be ready to go towards the end of the season. Dominique Robinson didn't put up great stats in the preseason, but I do think when he was able to move inside, that provided a little bit of ways to keep him around per se. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's going to be here for the long haul, but at least for right now, with what he's able to provide in versatility from the outside and the inside, it kind of makes a little sense. When you talk about the other players that you mentioned, those guys are going to be special team players. We're talking about the Travis Homer. We're talking about why Reddy Stewart didn't make it and Jalen Jones and why he's still around. These guys are going to solidify the special teams. I know it doesn't sound pretty, but that is still another phase of football that we definitely have to make sure we got shored up. It's the same reason why DeAndre Carter made the team. He ain't did much in preseason, but he was one of the guys that at least catch the damn ball, Valus. That's all I'm saying. So thanks, Fred. I hope you feel me on that one. Y'all let me know how y'all thinking about that below. Now we getting into this last one. We going to Booker World. Here it is from my guy Book.
Yo, Bobby C-Dub, this book, man. Blessings to you and yours. Man, I gotta tell you, and I wanna be very clear when I say this, so the people in the back can understand and hear me clearly. So give me a minute. I don't give a rat's ass if Caleb Williams throws for 4,000 yards. Period. The only thing we as Bears fans care about is wins. He can throw for 2,800 yards, but if the Bears are 13-3, I'm happy. He can throw for 3,500 yards. If they're 13-3, I'm happy. If he happens to throw for 4,000 yards, if they are 13-3, I'm happy. These people basing this season on if he throws 4,000 yards is that being successful is the dumbest thing I've heard so far about this. Well, not the dumbest thing, but one of the dumbest things about this man. This man, he's already told you, he didn't come here to wow you. He came here to win. So I don't know why people keep on with this, especially in the media, man. This 4,000 yards. They haven't had a quarterback. We know this, man. And I wish people would shut up saying it. We know that. But 4,000 yards ain't even really, I think, ain't even on his brain. He's here to win games and championships. And that's all that matters to us. That's how Chicago do it. We don't give a damn about stats. We care about wins and championships. But that's all I wanted to say, man, because it's constant and it's very irritating. But again, blessings to you and yours. Shout out to the familiar. Shout out to the crew. Chicago up, bear down, and I'm out.
For sure. Thanks for calling in, Book. And I think you hit the nail on the head, bro. I don't think Caleb Williams at least right now cares more about the stats than winning. But I guarantee, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I guarantee that young man want to shatter all these records, and he will. It ain't much to do. It ain't much to do, bro. It ain't much to do. All he needs is 11 touchdowns. He gonna smoke that in the first 2-3 weeks. You can say we passing that first 2-3 weeks, and then before we going in September, October, you should have 8 weeks of football. He gonna be definitely getting ready to pass the passing rookie record, which I believe is only like at 20 some hundred. So you know what I'm saying? I think that we want the dubs, and I'm with you on that. We want the dubs. He doesn't necessarily have to be a 4,000-yard passer this season, but I do think it's possible. I think it very well is attainable with what he has at his disposal. But like Book, the way that you put it is what stands tall against any argument. Mofos out there. We want wins. We want championships. The records and the individual accolades will take care of themselves. I believe Caleb Williams is focusing on the winning aspect of it because he knows that along with the winning, the stats and everything is going to come with it, especially with Shane Waldron as being your OC, you Kerry Joseph as your QB coach, and then you got a defense over there that's top 5. So get ready to rock and roll, and that's how we going to leave it because I don't believe it's nothing else that need to be said. But other than, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Chicago Bears Central. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe. If you have any questions, feedback, comments, concerns, go ahead and send us an email at chicagobearscentral@gmail.com. Make sure that if you want to be a part of an episode like this, you call in, state your name, give your take on anything Chicago Bears, and you will end up on a mailbag episode. The number to call in is 773-242-9336. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.